before we take a break, I want to ask you about the another sort of trade that almost was on draft day. I didn't mention it earlier because it really didn't fit with the Bears conversation, but this is the Rams. It's sort of funny that Les Snead and Sean McVay absolutely have to move up and down the draft board. So this came out as well. They were pick 19, the first time they've had a first round pick in the Sean McVay era, going back to 2017 when he arrived there. And there's some clips that made their way around the old internets that showed Les calling Joe Douglas of the Jets. He wanted to trade up to pick 10 to get Brock Bowers. They were going to get Brock Bowers at 10. And Joe Douglas stayed put. He ended up trading down one spot, allowing the Vikings to come up and get J.J. McCarthy. And then he said, hey, how about 11? That didn't happen. Once Brock Bowers was off the board at 13, the Rams were interested in trying to get Byron Murphy to replace Aaron Donald. That didn't happen. He went to Seattle. And I don't want to say they settled, but they stayed put and got Jared Verse, and then they circled back, got Braden Fisk in round 2. And I think they're probably pretty happy with that. But what about the notion of going up to get Brock Bowers at 10, reportedly?
Yeah, well, that's reportedly, and I didn't see those clips. So that's part of the business on draft day, trying to get aggressive, but not being too aggressive where you make a decision to just give your draft picks away. Like just going off on another rabbit hole here. No pun intended to Gretel. God rest her soul. She was a great house dog. But where was I going with that? Oh, the Minnesota Vikings. If you look at what they gave up for J.J. McCarthy and what they gave up to move up to get Dallas Turner, they gave up because they dipped into the 2025 picks, they gave up an entire draft class to go get those 2 players. So they were very aggressive. And I think both those players would be very good players, but if they don't pan out and you gave up an entire draft class, then you're going to be looked at a little sideways.
Yeah. And again, we're not looking at the Houston Texans sideways for the Will Anderson deal because it worked out, but that's a concern. Apparently, Les Snead was willing to give up pick 19 and pick 52 to get up to pick 10, but Joe Douglas didn't want to do that. They ended up taking Olaf Ashanu at 11, I believe, is where they ended up getting him when the Vikings traded up to get JJ. And it's pretty, I think you could argue that I can't remember the details, but maybe they got a better haul from the Jets just move up, the Vikings move up one spot. Anyway, I thought that was interesting. Brock Bowers and Byron Murphy were on the to-do list for the Rams. They had to settle, quote unquote, for Jared Verse. I think they'll be happy with that. And didn't cost them anything.
Braden Fisk.
And get Braden Fisk at 52, which I think they wouldn't have had. Yeah, absolutely.